My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 171. In this lecture, we will try to understand types of data science problems. We learn the fundamentals required to understand data science in terms of statistics. Now we are going to start series of lectures where we introduce data science, describe different techniques that are used in data science. Let me start with laundry list of techniques that people usually see when they look at any curriculum for data science or any website that talks about data science or many books that talks about data science. There are techniques such as regression analysis, k nearest neighbor, k means clustering, logistic regression, principal component analysis. Then people talk about predictive modeling. Understand that under predictive modeling, there are techniques such as lasso, elastic net. Not only these techniques, there are techniques such as linear discriminant analysis, support vector machines, decision trees, and random forests, quadratic discriminant analysis, naive Bayes classifier, hierarchical clustering, and many more such as deep networks and so on. To get a general idea of data science, one might be tempted to ask that all of these collection of techniques solve data science problems. Then one would like to know what type of problems are being solved. Why are there so many techniques for the type of problems that we are trying to solve? So these would be typical questions that one might be interested in answering. What I am going to do, I am going to give you my view of types of data science problems that are being solved and why there are so many techniques to solve these types of problems. So in my mind, fundamentally, I would say that there are mainly two categories, or I can say mainly two classes of problems that we solve in data science. So I'm going to call these as classification problems and function approximation problems. So let's look at what classification problems relate to. So these type of problems where you have data which are in general labeled. I will explain what labeled means. Labeling means, just observe this particular slide. This one is related to labeled data. Labeled data means data with some tag. Dog is a tag for this particular picture. This dog is a tag. Cat is a tag. Means this is also labeled data. The tag may be name. The tag may be number. Here you have tag number. But here you don't have tag. If you don't have any tag, that I can say that is unlabeled data. That's another example for labeled data. Just see, here I have tags. If you have tag, I can say this, as these images has got tags, I can say they are labeled data. If they don't have labels, I can say that is unlabeled data. If they don't have tags, I can say unlabeled data. I will spend a lot of time in future on this labeled data, how we will try to understand different algorithms related to this particular labeled data. Whenever you get a new data, you want to assign label to the data. So typical example of this type of problems called binary classification problems, which is used in many applications. I will point out two applications. For example, in this type of problems, what you have is data. We call data as capital X. Let me say this data could have many attributes. Let me say my X is data. It has got some attributes. This X1 is one attribute, X2 so on. there are n attributes. In binary classification problems, what you have group of data which you say can be can be assigned labels. Let me say this is assigned label C1. Let me say another C1 means class 1. There is another I use term C. C refers to the class to which data belongs, and then another block of data, let me say, which has got same attributes. This is x1, x2, so on xn. Let me say this is C2, class 2. There are only two classes. Why? Because this is binary classification. Now data science problem is the following. If you give a new data point, let me say x1 star comma x2 star, so on xn star, isn't it? The algorithm should be able to classify and say this point is likely to have come from either class 1 or it could have come from class 2, that is C2. So assigning a label to this new data in terms of what is the likelihood this data have come from, how many classes come from class 1 or class 2 is the binary classification problem. Only there are two classes. Let's say if you assign the likelihood of x1 star comma x2 star so on xn star coming from class 1, let me say it is coming from class 1, as the probability I can say 0.9, and from class 2, let me say this is probability 0.1. That's likelihoodness, isn't it? Then one would make the judgment that this data point is likely to belongs to class 1. Why? Because it has got higher likelihood. Now let's see how this is useful in a real-time situations. I will give you two examples. One example is people talk about all the time nowadays, which is called fraud detection. You might have heard this particular term, this fraud detection, which is called fraud detection. So let's take one particular case of fraud detection. For example, so whenever we go and use our credit card, we buy something, the credit card gets charged. So let's say there are certain characteristics of every transaction that you record, and such as what's the amount spent, time of the day that credit card used, the time of the day the transaction is made with credit card, the place from which transaction is made with the help of credit card, the type of the product that is bought through the transaction, and so on. You can think of many such attributes. Let's say those are the attributes that characterize every single transaction. Let's assume that there are many people that are making transactions. You have transaction listed like this. You find out that these are fraudulent transactions. What are the possibilities of this list of transactions? There are possibilities. There may be fraudulent transactions. That means I can say illegal transactions. Fraudulent means I can say illegal. There is another type of transactions. There are something like legal transactions. How many classes? There are only two classes. Therefore, this problem is related to binary classification. These are the transactions that are not legal. Yes, these are the transactions that are not legal. These are the transactions that are legal. Now, if you use data science algorithm, a binary classification algorithm, to be able to give the likelihood of a transaction being correct or fraudulent based on this easily calculatable attributes or easily monitorable or measurable attributes, then whenever a new transaction takes place, you could run it through this classifier and then find the likelihood of this transaction being fraudulent. And in cases where the transaction has very high likelihood of being fraudulent, then the company could call that person, then say, hey, we saw that your credit card was used in such a place with in such a time for buying such thing. Did you actually do this transaction? And if you are gone on a vacation to a remote place, you made this transaction, you tell them, yes, I have come to this place on a vacation and this is a right transaction and so on. If not, then you can say, then you find that transaction is fraudulent and stop the payment. This is one example of how binary classification problem is useful in real life. Now, when we talk about this data and we talk about binary classification problem, we talked about just two classes x1 and x2, but in reality there could be problems where there are multiple classes. One very good engineering example would be false diagnosis or prediction failures, where you might have, let's say you have a certain equipment, a pump or compressor or distillation column, whatever the equipment might be, and then working of the equipment is, let's say, characterized by several attributes: how much power it draws, how much performance that it gives, is there vibration, is there noise, what is the temperature, and so on. Now you could have engineering data, let's say the characteristics of a pump, and the pump is characterized, the operation of pump characterized by several attributes x1, x2, so on, xn. If you have legacy data or historical data where you have been operating pumps for years and years, and then you know that if these variables takes values, let me say this about this pump, I can say there are three possible situations. That first situation is, let me indicate this one as n in the sense I can say these are the attributes x1, x2, so on, xn. Let me say this is n. There is another possibility, let me say that is f1. There is another possibility f2. How many classes are there? Three classes. Therefore I can say multi class, isn't it? What does it mean? N means normal and f1 means a fault situation, f2 is another fault situations. I can say like that. And then you could have block of data, and the data might have been the data that is recorded whenever there is a particular type of fault in the pump. Let me call this fault is f1. f1 is one type of fault. Then you could have another block of data which could have been seen when there is a fault f2, and so on. So we will just strict it to two faults f1 and f2. Let us assume these are only two failure modes that are possible. Now you start operating the pump, then at some point you get this data, then you ask the following question based on this data: would be possible for me to say if pump is operating normally, or is there likely to be failure mode 1, failure mode 2? So in this case you see that there are three classes. N means normal, f1 means fault 1 situation, f2 means fault 2 situation. So this is called multi-class problem. So again, when a new data comes in, we want to label this as normal f1 and f2. If it's normal, then you don't do anything. If it's f1, if it's very severe, then you stop and fix it. If it is not very severe, you let the maintenance know this pump is going to come for maintenance for some time, and in the next shutdown of the plant this pump needs to be maintained. So that's classification problems are very important in engineering context. So we will look at example of both binary classification and multi-class classification as we go through the series of lectures. So in summary, the one type of problems that we are interested in data science is classification problems. In this lecture I discussed about binary classification and multi-class classification, where we can see three classes: f1, f2 and normal, isn't it? Just see there are different types of challenges that we are going to face when we look at classification problem, this is one type of challenge, picture 1, and picture 2 is another type of challenge. Problems where linear equation is decision function. Just see, this is linear equation, it's a decision function. For us to classify are called linear classification problems. These problems are called as linearly classifiable problems. Here we shown in 2 dimensions, so binary classification problem. Here just which one is separator? The separator can be, it can be line, it can be plane, or it can be even it can be hyperplane, isn't it? This is a separator. Could be used to, this line, plane or hyperplane could be used to classify these data points. Now more complicated problems are where hyperplane or line might not be enough for us to classify. Here is an example for a classification problem which is non-linear. Just see, this is non-linear. Here I have class 1, here I have class 2. This is class 1, this is also class 1, this is class 2, isn't it? Let's assume that we cannot draw a line. Just see, I cannot draw a line to separate these points. I must draw a curve, isn't it? Now let's move on to other type of problems that one solves in data science. This is what I would call it as function approximation problem. Again, I am showing function approximation problem. Just see this function approximation problem in 2 dimension space here. It has output as well as input. Just see, this is x is input, y is output, x is input, y is output. In a general case, we will have many inputs and many outputs. This is what is called a case of single input, single output. However, you could have many attributes x1, x2, xn, and output being a function of many attributes. This is also a function approximation problem. I can say y equal to f of function of x1, x2, so on. I can say xn, or you could also have many outputs which are function of many attributes. I can say like this, my y1 equal to f1 of x1, x2, so on, xn. So on, you can continue this procedure. Your yn equal to fn of x1 comma x2, so on, xn. So this is also possible. So the function approximation is the task of finding these functions. Which functions? It's f1 to so on fn. And whenever we write a function, this function is typically parameterized. Parameterized means what? I can say like this. What is the meaning of parameterized? Let me say my y1 equal to f1 of x1, x2, so on, xn, p1, comma p2, comma so on, pr. These x1, x2 are known as attributes. What are these? These are known as attributes, and this p1, p2 are known as parameters, isn't it? This p1, p2, so on, pr are known as parameters. Simple example is, if it is linear function, linear means what? Y equal to a naught x plus b naught. What does it mean? In this case, function form is linear and the parameters, here parameters is a naught and b naught. These are known as parameters. If you assume that it is quadratic function of the form y equal to a naught x square plus a1x plus a2. So in this case, the function form is quadratic and there are 3 parameters. What are those parameters? A naught, a1, a2. So when you do functional approximation, we have to figure out both function and parameters. This function approximation plays a major role in solving many data science problems. In classification problems, we want to come up, let's say in linear case, let me say a few words about classification problem. This is classification problem. I will repeat. In classification problems, we want to come up, let's say in linear case, line or hyperplane, where these points are as far away from this as possible. Just see, these points. These points are as far away from this particular separator. As far as away, I am straight, as far away from this, isn't it? From this, that's what it says. That's classification. In the function approximation case, what you want to do, but this function approximation is a little bit different. What you want to do, find a line or a hyperplane such that points are clustered around that. Just see here, your points must be clustered around this. Just see, these points are clustered around this. Here also these points are clustered around the separator, but in the case of classification, the points must be as far away from that separator, isn't it? That you must understand. In summary, there are really only two types of problems that we predominantly solve in common engineering viewpoint using data sciences. These are classification problems and function approximation problems. I will discuss in detail about these two types of problems in future classes. Let me stop here itself. Thank you very much.